Right. Hello, this is Danny DeSantis from Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Today's Figure Forge will be featuring the Warhammer 40k Necron Lychguard. So, I'm going to take this box, which can make either the Lychguard or the Triarch, and this time we're going to make some Lychguard out of them. So, box out of the way, get to some models. First, we're going to do the Warscythe version. Now, you got to make sure when you do these models, however, that you keep track of which legs and which pieces go together for the legs. They seem to be very specific. In this one, we did legs number C, which would be leg 8 and leg 7. Sorry, leg 8 and leg 7 and piece 8. For the front cloth tabard, whatever you'd consider it in this guy. So we're going to put that on right now. Pretty sure all the pieces that they tell you are specific due to the way their legs are formed. This one kind of falls back and follows his left leg. After that, we're going to move on to the arms. When you cut the arms out, now what the staff head is always the same. The staff itself is a little different. And each one comes with a specific arm number that you're supposed to use. For this one, I cut out H. Now we've got all that. We'll go on to the chest, which are all going to be the same pieces across there no matter what you do. Well, guess I'm wrong. They say they're different numbers. I can't see a difference in them. The front and the back are the same for all the Lychguards that I can tell. So, going to take our back piece, which with the neck, the way it goes in there, on the back there's two little grooves. You put some glue in those grooves, you pick up your neck, and you slide it in to make sure it fits. If you do it the way I normally like to do it, and put the chest together real quick and be done with it, you're not going to get that neck in there. So, let's make sure we put the neck in first. Now we'll take the front of the chest, go ahead and put that piece on, which gives us our completed Necron chest. Let's glue our Warscythe together real quick, which, simple, two pieces, push together, dry the fingers, and we're all good. Now, you're going to have another spinal column on this model. Seems like all the new Necrons want to have an internal spinal column and an external spinal column. So, put the head on first to make sure that spinal column doesn't get in our way. You tilt the head back just a little bit, you can keep his whole face out of his chest piece. If you don't, you can cover his jaw up in his chest piece if you want. But our head's on. Now, well, our head was on. Alright, head's on. Now we're going to take the spinal column piece, this little tab in the back of it that's not centered, and for this one you want to have the greater part of it up on top. So, little glue on his back, have our tab that fits right in the hole, but you want to make the greater part going up, because it will fit upside down or right way up. I was playing with that trying to figure it out, but want more of it going up than down. There we go. There's our chest, our legs, our weapon. Now we'll take our chest and glue it to our legs. And this part always takes more time than I like to dry. Get it in there close, and we're going to speed it up real quick. Now comes the fun part. We have another two-handed weapon, which means we've got to figure out how to get both hands and both arms all in together at the same time. Figure out which one's left, which one's right. Figure out which hand's which. Alright, so we're going to try gluing the right hand to the right arm. Maybe. Let's try that again. Right hand, right arm. Make it hold. So this guy seems to want to hold it more blade down than blade up, which will be different with every model. That's why you have to use the right arms that they tell you to use with the right weapons. Every time you do it, it's going to come out with a little different holding stance. You mix them, might be a real nightmare to try and figure out how to make them hold the weapons. So, let this one dry a little bit more on its own, so that we give it time to play with it and mold it as we need. Looks like I got lucky and got it in the first shot this time. But now that I've opened my mouth, I'm sure I'm going to mess that all up. But we look good. Only thing left to do is glue in his left arm to his shoulders. Put that all in there. There we go. Lychguard with the war scythe. So he's done. We'll get rid of him. Next, we're going to do our Lychguard with our Disruptor Shield and our Hyperphase Sword. This one's the one I'm really looking forward to playing, because I want to play with this shield, make my enemies get mad when they end up shooting themselves. For this guy, we ended up using legs from set D, which would be legs 10 and front piece 11. So before, make sure you keep all these pieces straight, either when you put them out, put them in piles, so that you know which is which, or when you take them out, do them right away. Don't let them sit. This guy's got straighter legs. He's got a longer flap, which wouldn't have worked with the other guy because it would have ran into his leg. But that's all we really got to do. The legs are done. For the arms on these ones, it doesn't matter which arms you use, because the hands are not on the war scythe. This time the hands would be on the back of the shield and on our hyper sword. So you can use any arms you want for this. Sorry, our shield and our hyper sword. Use any arms you want. They'll all go together just fine. Take our back piece, put our neck in it. I know the neck's small, so make sure you keep track of it. If you don't, you glue this chest together, you're going to kick yourself. I really don't think it's going to fit in there after the fact. We got our neck. A little bit of glue for the chest. Squeeze them all together. And we're done. Next, let's try and put the head on real quick. I said earlier, if you give it a little bit of an outward lean, you'll be able to see all of his jaws. If you don't, you can tuck it in behind his chest if you really want. Or you just throw him across the table and see where he lands. There we go. Give this guy a little bit of a look to the right. Put that down and be done with it for a second. Take our spinal column. This time we'll put some glue on the peg on the back of the column. Like I said before, make sure you have the majority of it facing up. That little peg is not in the center. It's probably about a third of the way up, so make sure 2/3 are up, 1/3 down. Done with that. Move on to the legs and the chest combination. I may have overglued the chest so much that was unnecessary, but try my luck. Put that in. Make it hold. This guy stands a little more upright. So, the shield's on his left arm, the sword's on his right. Move on to gluing on the left arm. Tilt it out just a little bit to give it clearance. So when we put the shield on, it won't hit his body. Move on to his right arm. Aim that one with a little more of an upwards angle. And go whichever way you really want with these ones. Try and go a little more upwards and hope it doesn't run into the sword here in a second. Back of the shield, you've got his hand, which is a little hard to see. It's right down in there. A little bit of glue on the back of his wrist. Probably could have put some glue on the back of his forearm too. Looks like it's got a good hold on where it rests. Give you a little more surface area to glue if you want it. The wrist itself is enough, but hey, never hurts to have a little more, right? Another wrist shot. Let's see if this is going to be one of those fatal fails. Not too bad. Well, once it holds. Instead of an upward swing, it's more like he's resting it on his shoulder. Not as bad as the one warrior I put together one time. Thought it'd be cool to have him raising his gauze flare over his head. Got it all glued together, gun on, arms on. Doing all the heads last, grabbed the head. Head didn't fit. So, got one guy who knocked his own head off. But, there we go. We have our Lychguard, his Disruptor Shield, his Hyper Sword, resting on his shoulder. He looks more like he's looking down range, waiting to see for his orders to go in and kill whoever he's got to go for. So we've got one Lychguard with Hyper Shield and... Disruptor Shield, Hyper Sword, and one Lychguard with War Scythe. Either way, nice melee unit. Pretty strong. We're going to see what they can do a little bit later. Thank you very much. This is Danny DeSantis from Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. This is an edition of Figure Forge, all finished, and I'm out of here. Let's go see if I can beat someone up.